People of the Interbutts, welcome. I am your host, as always, El Murpho, and welcome again to another sit-down chat vlog of mine. This one, I'm going to tell you guys all about the story where I actually got to skate on the ice of the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, the home to my favorite ice hockey team and NHL team, the New York Rangers. Now, funny enough, when I worked at WWE, Madison Square Garden was one of the venues that I really wanted to work behind the scenes at, but I never got a chance to. But luckily, it wasn't like my only miss at ever being able to experience Madison Square Garden backstage. Back when I was 14 years old, I believe it was 14, it might have been when I was 13, I was involved in what is known as this NHL breakout roller hockey tournament. I'm not sure if they do it anymore, but back in the early aughts and the late 90s, I believe, each NHL team, the NHL as a whole, had this program known as the NHL Breakout Tournament, where it would happen over the summers, and you would get to sign up. Each NHL team would host a roller hockey tournament. They would have it at these public venues where they had all these basically rinks with inflatable boards that acted as roller hockey rinks, and you would play different teams one day, and then you would have a tournament, kind of like a round robin kind of thing. Then you would have a tournament, I believe, and if you won your division, you would go on to the national tournament, which I believe is held in Florida. I think it was Tampa or Orlando. Now, the year before, my team had actually won the tournament for the New York area, which was being run by the New York Rangers. It was held at Rye Playland in Rye, New York. Unfortunately, our age group was not eligible to go to the Nationals. We were deemed too young, and of course, the year after, they decide, that's a stupid rule, let those kids go to Nationals. Thanks. Anyway, the next year we gathered a team. We were the champions from the year before, so we got a good team from our town to gather up to give it a shot to try and win back-to-back years and go to Nationals. Unfortunately, as we signed up and everything, the New York Rangers misplaced our team application and we did not qualify for the breakout tournament. So, my father, who was the coach of the team and the organizer of the team, was very upset, very disappointed by the fact that he had done all this work and all these kids were ready, had paid their fees and everything, and were excited and ready to go and play in the tournament again this year, and we gotten inadvertently screwed out of playing. So he put up a fuss with the New York Rangers, who organized the tournament, and luckily the Rangers responded back to us and said, look, we're really sorry, we can't have you in the tournament now because the deadline's passed. However, there is something we can do for you guys. We will have your entire team show up as guests. We'll give you your entire team free tickets to a Rangers game, good seats in the 200 section, and your kids, your team will be able to play a little 5-on-5, split them up, and play a little in between the periods hockey, like they do with a lot of other little kids for charity. So we're like, hell yes, we'll take it. So we end up going down to Madison Square Garden. I believe the Rangers won the game. I just remember being really happy. That's not the game itself is not exactly what I remember, but I just remember we arrived and we got to go backstage, and it was my first look at a backstage area, and I remember being like having this idea and this vision of backstage of arenas when I was a kid, that they were all like sparkly and glitzy. Not the case at all. The locker rooms are, but not the case at all. And we get down there and we're told, oh, so you guys will get to dress in one of the press boxes. So basically one of those little press rooms where you will see like New York Rangers coaches and players having press conferences and talking to people, and the Knicks too, because the Knicks also play in Madison Square Garden. That is where we changed. We literally changed in the seats that the members of the press would sit in and ask questions during press conferences. So we put all of our stuff down there, we went up, we watched the game, and then the time came where the second period was almost over, so we were told to go down. So we go down there and getting changed, and I just remember thinking, this is so cool. This is so cool. I'm sitting where the New York Times and New York Daily News people sit to write their articles or to ask their questions, not in the actual locker room, but this is so cool. And then we get let out, and the second period's over. I see some of the players from the team that the Rangers were playing were doing their in-between period methods of staying warm, which was they were just on cardio bikes, just doing some light cardio, very light, just to keep themselves loose. And we walk over, and we happen to be standing there right as one of the players in the other team is getting interviewed by one of the guys from MSG Network, and I'm like, this is awesome. And then the time comes, they signal us to go, they say, go, 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 go. And we had like 5 minutes to play, which 5 minutes doesn't sound like a lot of time, and I do wish it was more, but 5 minutes, since we had no substitution, we were just able to play, period, is a lifetime in hockey terms. But I just remember going out there and stepping on the ice, and the first thing I thought was, this ice sucks. But to be fair, we were on there after the Rangers had played an entire period, and they do not Zamboni for the little kids. So honestly, I don't know what I was expecting. I was just, expecting the best ice I've ever set my feet upon. But the other first thing is I just looked up and I saw the marquee just underneath me, and I looked around and I saw the fans that were still around watching us and all the stands, and I'm like, wow, this is what it feels like to be like Messier, like Gretzky, like Richter, like all the greats in not just Ranger hockey but in the NHL. And my throat immediately dried up. I was like so nervous and anxious and excited. And so we ended up skating for 5 periods, and I'm just looking around. Half the time I just can't stop looking around. And it was just such an exciting thing. Unfortunately, none of us scored because we were all young teenagers, and we sucked, and we were playing in an NHL-sized rink, even though they cut it down for us. And we just couldn't score, especially later on because we were all exhausted. There were a couple times where there were a few near misses and a few hits and near goals, and the crowd actually reacted. And oh my God, the adrenaline rush that gives you. And it kind of makes me feel ashamed that I never actually tried to go to a college that had ice hockey there, so I could get that experience there and get that feeling outside of high school. But I just remember it being an unforgettable experience. My father got to go and stand on the benches and check out the benches. My brother was there because he was an alternate. They eventually let him go out and skate for the last minute just that way he could have the experience. And just, it was amazing. After we were done, we went back into the press room. The crowd cheered for us, and we went and we got undressed in the press box. We went back up, we watched the rest of the game. We got to go back down to grab all of our stuff and leave. But it was just an unforgettable experience. I will never leave my head being able to go and skate out on the rink and look up and see the Madison Square Garden iconic marquee, which has now obviously been updated, but it's just something I'll never forget. And it was an amazing experience, and I just screw breakout. That was amazing. That was well worth the exchange. But guys, that's my story. That's another story from my youth that I figured I would want to share with you guys so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. Have you guys ever had some sort of similar experience? Did you guys ever get to do anything in the middle of a professional sports game or a sports arena where you got to, either perform or do some sort of charity thing? Or were you one of the people who would take t-shirts out and shoot a t-shirt out into the stands? Did you get to shoot a puck from mid-ice to try and win a car or something? And did you succeed or did you fail? Even if it's not a major sports team, if it was a local sports team or a minor league sports team, I want to hear about it. I want to know if you guys had any moments like that, or any meeting your heroes or being in a place that you have always wanted to be in, play in, perform in. I want to hear about it. It doesn't even have to be about sports. And also, of course, if you guys have any topic ideas, please let me hear them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to talk about random stuff with you guys. If I can't come up with topics myself, I'm obviously going to look at what you guys suggest, and I'm going to pick some of them. Thank you all so much for watching. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. No, not Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, just not at the same thing. They're different. Different things. You can find me on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. That's the one, Twitch, my Twitch channel where I stream regularly, or try to at least, at L_Murpho. My Facebook, which I said was separate before, is facebook.com/reallmurpho. Most importantly, don't forget about my Patreon page. If you go to patreon.com/lmurpho, all one word, you will find me. And you'll get exclusive content, early access to stuff, Q&A video once I get enough patrons, and you guys can ask questions, or I'll answer questions that people ask me here in the comments below, or on Facebook, or on Twitter, or on Instagram, and stuff like that. So be sure to check me out there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next video, may your nerd be true.